up, you stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. You get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. You get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. You get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. 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 No. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight. Sick and tired of your hism schism. Time to go to heaven in a hism schism. We know and we understand. Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Now you see the light. Stand up for your right. Children, stand up for your right. 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 Most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything, make everybody feel high. But did you know what life is worth? And you would look for yours unhurt, and now you see the light. You stand up for your right. Ooh, yeah. Get up, stand up. What did you say? Stand up for your right. One more time. Get up, stand up. Did you hear? Don't give up the fight. You get up, stand up. One more time. Stand up for your right. Did you say? Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. 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 'Cause I'll never 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 give up the fight.
And hope to die.
By these 50 countries, differing so much in race and religion, in language and culture.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
Well, I know they're lying. They tricked me once, but they're not going to trick me twice. The time is now. Welcome back to the Professor Penn podcast. David Penn, your host. Glad to be with you as always for episode number 266. Get Up, Stand Up. Get Up, Stand Up, coming to you on Tuesday, December 23rd, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Good morning, Tanner.
Good morning.
You know, I watched that, I'm thinking, How do you think about that? What does that do for you?
For me,
Bob Marley, yes.
Bob Marley, listening to his lyrics, it makes me kind of wonder, like, was it accidental that growing up, I was always led to believe that Bob Marley was nothing more than a pot smoking guy that sang. And when I listen to his songs, I find that every single one has a way deeper meaning than what it actually is. It isn't just some stoner just jamming out. Like I know I'm aware that he smoked a lot of pot himself, but
Well, that didn't make him
that's
unusual at that time.
it's just I don't know. I think my generation thinks of him as just the stoner. Like nobody even
Great.
understands
That's a
the
fantastic.
messaging.
I was just thinking about leaders of movements while I was watching that. I was just thinking about that because he led a movement and his lyrics are still viable.
Oh my gosh.
Get up, stand up. Most people think a great God will come from the sky. Take away everything and make everyone feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you'd look for yours on earth. And, this is kind of a critique of Christian Zionism in its own kind of a way.
Yeah.
It is. If that lyric is a critique of a certain kind of eschatological outlook,
Not
he's
only that,
critiquing it.
I think he's also like a timeless artist because I bet you any money that if Bob Marley would have come out today,
Oh, still a badass.
still
Yeah.
would have been awesome. He
Well,
still would have.
but it, I just play it because get up, stand up, that theme. And I got these people that you don't know this. Maybe you do because you read my X comments and my podcast comments. There's this dude that calls me a Garveyite all the time. You seen that
I
guy
have
in
not
there?
seen this one.
Oh, yeah. He's like, wow. It's like really out there. And I don't get upset when people talk because, it's words. But why do I play Bob Marley? The other part of it is when you're poor, you really feel the iniquity of a vampire system. When you're looking at your phone and the pixels are dancing, saying, oh, look at all this money I got in the market.
Yeah.
I'm balling, driving a new car, paid off a house. You're on your second or third wife, but it's all working for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not really tasting the lash. You're not tasting the lash.
In a weird way, like to connect it to the song, the digital and kind of like the false world has become the God, and it makes us feel high because we're like, oh
Well,
my
that's
God, look at the
another part.
numbers going up.
That's another part of it, the complete submission, not to the search for truth, but to materialism as
Yeah.
being the end all and be all. Did you ever? I really get a kick out of this because I'm getting older now, so I'm listening how people are talking. And the criteria that's used to determine a successful male life is how much money you die with.
According to who? Was there like
According to a lot of people my age.
just general.
Yeah, the
I
boomers,
agree.
man. It's like not how long you live or how well you lived, but when you died, how much did you leave?
Yeah.
It's
That's changing because wasn't it Mark or it was Mitchell from Rasmussen polling that said that he did a poll on what is success for people that are like 18 to 29, and about like 60% of the males had said family and kids. So I think that is slowly shifting. Could be wrong.
I think all those people my age say family and kids too. I think family and kids is a convenient thing to say.
Yeah.
Try to get a family and kids without money. See how that works for you.
Yeah.
That's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we have mixed metaphors. We're in a period of transition. So on the one hand, to be toxically masculine and acquire lots of sheeps and goats and herds so that you can have many wives, that's not good. We don't want that kind of toxic max. That is colonial settler mentality.
Mhm.
You follow where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, from what I see on Instagram, which shocks me, if you don't have that going on in the bank, you probably aren't going to get a family. Is that true?
Yeah. That's 100%
Doesn't
true.
this seem to be strange? These two things are at odds with each other. See, we're not ideologically sorted out.
Mm-mm.
That's why we're doing the podcast.
Help the confusion.
Well, I'm confused.
Yeah,
Like,
I
for
mean, I am
example,
too.
now think about your friends. if they're in a relationship and things don't work out, the dude did something wrong, didn't he?
Yeah, most time.
And if the girl did something wrong, it was the dude's fault that she did it, right?
The catalyst, I wouldn't say fault, but yes. The male is the
Doesn't
one that
this
tripped
again
it.
sound rather ideologically unsorted out? I'm just saying things
No, that's
that
a good
pop
point.
things that pop to mind this morning when we get into many other things that are ideologically not sorted out. Let me do some housekeeping. Minnesota Speaks, a digital community. Let me just tell you, last Thursday night had two guests, a candidate for Senate, Thomas Weiler, and a candidate for governor, Mike Lindell. Would you like to venture a guess how many people had watched that space last Thursday night? Minnesota citizens? Venture a guess.
I'll say 1,300.
12,000.
Nice. Okay, so I was bigger than 1,000.
12,000 people. And then people were watching
Wait.
it on rerun. 12,000.
12,000. My brain did 1,200.
I'm
so.
telling you, 12. Listen to me now. Really, Merry Christmas. Okay, I forget. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm going to try to be upbeat today. I think I am a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah, now that you got talk, I walked in and I was like, "How you doing?" He's like, "Good." You don't sound good, Dave.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just thinking, man, my audience, what can I do to lift you up here? It's Christmas time. 12,000 citizens in a space in one state could be unprecedented. And if we could get that to 20 or 30,000, which we can do how? By coming to the space and bringing everybody we know there. There will not be a space, obviously, on Christmas evening. It's a time for reflection and prayer. But January 1st, which is a Thursday, we're going to have that next space. And I hear tell around the campfire that a candidate for Senate by the name of Royce White will be appearing in that space to hold court. And one of the things I want to do, and I'm working on, and I'm sharing this, if Minnesota Lady or Lieutenant Aldo is listening, I'm trying to get some big names lined up for January because we got 4 spaces between now and caucus. Caucus is February 3rd. Are you aware of that, Mr. Tanner?
I know it's in February. Now
Put
I
it on
remember
your
the 3rd.
calendar.
Okay.
On your calendar, February 3. Caucus, where Minnesota is a caucus state, which means that I'm going to tell you how it works. This is very important. This is political reality. It's the structure and it creates strategy and tactics. The people that endorse candidates in both parties, right now today, in every state in this union practically, are what we would call, let's not go for labels. Let's let it be said that they're people that are professionally engaged with the political process and have been doing it for a long time. And, that's not a bad thing if things are working good. Like if you looked out at, Tanner, could you imagine if you looked out at your country and everybody was living to 90 and disease was compressed, people got sick and died 2 months later. We didn't spend a lot on health care because we all knew how to stay well. We lived close to nature. Everyone was educated. It was like a utopia, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have any debt. We hadn't been at war for several hundred years. That kind of life, right?
Mhm.
I'd say we'd want to keep those people at the trigger because they're doing a great job.
Mm.
Let's talk about this crew that we seem to respect so much, the ones that are wearing these white shirts and these blue suits. We've been at war my entire life, constantly. We're $38 trillion in debt, and 11% of the people in the country own 89% of the equities in the stock market, which is where the money is. That means 11% own 89% of the stocks. That means that 90% of the people got nothing, pretty much.
Yeah.
They don't have any savings. People my age don't have any savings. But these two groups don't interact. Because, if you don't have any money, you're not with the cool kids. I'm asking you, Tanner, do you think the people with money know that there's people that don't have money? I mean, are they able
Like,
to...
are they aware of the
Are they able to
severity
just
of it?
push it out of their heads? Like, I got mine, and that's because I'm so cool. And you screwed up somehow, so that's why you don't have
Oh
mine.
yeah. There's a lot of people like that. I have one person I don't even talk to anymore because he is on the idea that it is so easy and public education is free. So how could you not get to a point of making money?
But my point is, uh,
I'm sorry if I missed your point.
well, I'm saying, no, you didn't miss it. I'm just saying, when you get this kind of income inequality and disparity,
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter at a certain point. Like, people just get pissed.
Yeah.
And you know what they do? They become socialists, like your generation, right?
That's like I was talking with Killer Carl when he asked me how I felt about like money, and I just said I hate it. That's what I'm talking about. Is that there's this new idea that if you don't have enough money, you're not worth it or you're not trying hard enough. I don't like that concept with money.
I think we were just talking about that as regards mating. That must be related to the mating concept,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, some things, we got to sort them out. Got to sort them out, which is why we do the spaces, Minnesota Speaks, every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Now, I'm bringing this back as we start talking about strategy and tactics, because when I want to get 20 or 30,000 people into this space over the next 4 weeks, and I'm trying to get some names, some draws to come, it's because we can caucus train in there. If we had 12,000 people in that space, you know, the numbers tell me that 1% of people that identify as Republicans, probably as Democrats too, 1% actually caucus, and then they involve themselves in party politics. And party politics is so important because whatever party, whoever they endorse, is likely going to win a primary and then is going to go on to win the general election. So the endorsement process, that's where the citizens can get involved. Because once they get by the endorsement, baby, man, if the establishment loves them, here comes the judge. The money comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the vetting process. And when the citizens like you and me, regular everyday guys and girls, do not do it, and we leave it for these insiders, I'm going to say again, if people were living to be 90 or 100 years old, not using a lot of health care, and they died 2 months after they got sick, and everybody was self-sustaining and self-governing, and we hadn't been at war for 700 years, balanced budget, I'd say leave these people at the trigger.
Yeah. Like if they were giving us that kind of life, there would even be a point that I'm like, you know what?
I'm
Build them a huge mansion. It's okay. They did a good
hey,
job.
yeah, take some commission. It's okay. But when they rob you and they give you this, now let's think about it. Not only are we getting a $38 trillion debt in a forever war, but we're getting robbed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough there's a war that we're getting taxed to pay for, and we can't pay for it, so we're borrowing money, which means we're debt slaves. That's not good enough for these people. They're robbing us with both hands. They just came out with another Pentagon audit. I'm going to cover it next week. Failed again.
Oh, great. Was that the 5th in a row?
Eighth
8th.
time. Can't sort it out. We don't know where the money is. We're sorry. We're a big company.
What do you think would happen to TireGet if you were to just miss an audit 8 times in a row?
Oh, it wouldn't happen 8. It would happen 1.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to
That's the
understand,
point.
you got to understand who the military is.
Yeah.
The military is the bouncer for the banking system. So if you are hiring a bouncer, like you're a rich guy and you're 6'1", good shape, right?
Mm.
In good shape. Got a lot of money. You hire a bouncer. He's 6'9", 350. And you're walking along with him. He's working for you. But you're aware. Let's not criticize this guy in public. Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to piss him off.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you understand. 8 audits in a row. You know, nobody want to criticize. But see, I'm doing it, but nobody's listening. Which is what you could do. You could repost the links. You could come to Minnesota Speaks, and here's the real key thing. Caucus. How does this work? With these people that are entrenched in both parties that generated the reality that you and I live in. And we had a social compact with them, and here was the social compact. I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to pursue my happiness, and I don't want to do politics. You're going to do it for me. And the deal is you're going to keep my life doing just great. And you didn't do it. You failed miserably. You get an F minus. But the way politics works is these people have control of the parties and they're not giving up. Did you watch any of that footage from that interview or that repartee I had with Walter Hudson?
Yeah, I was watching some of it.
It was pretty good, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
was it Sandy that called in?
Sandy called in. Sandy, her people contacted me right away on X. It was great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something that Sandy said. She goes, these people won't give an inch. And I said right back to Walter, why would anybody expect these people to give an inch? It's politics. They're not going to give an inch. They're going to beat the citizens down with an ugly stick until enough citizens show up so that the stick bounces off. How do we do that? We go to caucus. That's the first step. Caucus, your neighborhood meeting. You can find out where your caucus is going to be. You go to the Secretary of State website, find out where you are. It's called Precinct Finder. If you do a little research, you'll find out where your caucus is going to be. You can call your local party unit. You can call the party. There are places to call. If you're really confused, you can get in touch with me at support@tireget.com. That's support@tireget.com. I'll help individual citizens find out where they are and where their caucus is. You go to caucus. You bring some friends with you. Do you know your neighbors? You know some neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come to caucus with me. They're going to go, why? Because I'm going to buy you McDonald's afterwards, and we're going to learn how the world works. You're my friends. Let's go.
I got a perfect neighbor for that. Now I'm excited for a caucus.
Right. And here's what you do. It's not just going to caucus. You got to get elected as a precinct delegate. Now, let me tell you how easy that is in almost all caucus rooms. Just show up. Because nobody shows up. Only 1% show up. That's what I was going to try to get to about Minnesota Speaks. We had 12,000 people there last Thursday. That means 12 people out of 12,000, 1%, went to caucus. What if we could get all 1,200 to go to caucus? Well, you know what that means if you're listening to me? 12,000. What do I mean? I'm doing it like you, 12,000. 12,000, 1,200, 120. 1% is 120, right? What if all 12,000 went to caucus? All 12,000. Let me tell you what it would mean. We could coordinate it at this meeting. If we bring in 20, 30, 40,000 people to Minnesota Speaks, I'm going to get to talk to people. Minnesota lady has said, yeah, you're going to do it 15 minutes for each one of the next 4 sessions. I'm going to say this. If you go to caucus and you bring your friend, you get elected as a delegate. You're now a precinct delegate. 1 month later, you're going to get notified about a Senate, district, or county convention. And you're going to go as a precinct delegate. You get to vote as a precinct delegate on who gets to become your Senate district's delegates to the congressional district and state convention. It's the same people. It's just that simple. You get elected as a precinct delegate with your friends. You elect each other. Then you go to your Senate district convention. Sometimes it's called a county convention. Be about a month later, like in March. And you could get elected to be what's called a congressional district state delegate. And then you go to the state convention, and you know how many there are? 2,200.
2,200 state conventions?
Delegates.
Oh, delegates.
There's
okay.
only, when you go to the state, that's where we're going to nominate who runs for governor. And we're going to endorse, they're going to get elected.
Yeah.
And same thing with state senate. And that's the party endorsement. Now, there could be a primary afterwards, but almost always the endorsed candidate wins the primary. So you see how important it is to go to caucus and become a precinct delegate and then become a congressional district state delegate? Only 2,200 people in this state of millions and millions of people determine who's going to be the Republican Party's endorsed candidate. If we have 20,000 people in Minnesota Speaks and we all go to caucus, the arc of history changes.
Yeah.
Like, that's like international news stuff that's getting organized right here at Free People Radio with thanks to Lieutenant Aldo and Minnesota Lady. This could actually happen. It's about this audience spreading this idea out, bringing lots of people to Minnesota Speaks. We got 4 sessions to get people to caucus and train them how to become congressional district state delegates. And then guess what? Wow. Well, we're going to let it rip then. We had Tom Weiler on, Senate candidate Tom Weiler, a former nuclear submariner. He was on last week. And one of the people that participated in the space sent me notes on what he said. Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
I'm a 20-year military intelligence veteran. We can't let Russia run roughshod over Europe. Israel is our greatest ally and partner in democracy. I've had multiple conversations with Tim Scott. I recently interviewed with Hugh Hewitt. Now, I don't have any bone to pick with Tom Weiler. I think he's a very courageous man, frankly. When I say I respect him, I mean I really respect him. He was a very accomplished serviceman, nuclear submariner. That's high skill stuff. Educated, smart, brave, physically brave, and emotionally brave, I should say. But, you know, his comments let me know who he is, and he spent 20 years in the military. And this is no different for me than Adam Schwartzy. What these people say, I think Weiler and Schwartzy are pretty much the same guy. I think Weiler is just a little bit straighter about it. I think both of them are supporters of the military-industrial complex. And I could be wrong, and I say it every time about Adam because I don't know, but I'm not taking chances on these people. Because, you know, here's Weiler. We can't let Russia run roughshod over Europe, and Israel is our greatest ally and partner in democracy. That's the New World Order right there in a nutshell. There you go. So, I'm not trying to impugn anybody. I'm just saying we got 20% of the people in the Congress are military. It's quite a lobby. And then we get people like Michelle Tafoya that's getting ready to come out, and you probably have no idea who she is. She was a 28-year professional sports network broadcaster working for all the major networks, CBS, NBC, ESPN. And there's all this buzz about her because she is a pro-choice Republican woman. So she hits the mark that the Uni-Party Republicans are looking for in a candidate because they think she has crossover appeal to suburban white women. They like it.
Yeah.
And I went to her X page, and you know what it looks like? White bread mayonnaise. There's nothing there. Okay? And I'm just getting to thinking, I don't know her either. She could be a wonderful person. But if you work for the networks, the major networks, in other words, the major purveyors of the status quo propaganda to keep things going down the center of the road, like I'm working for the football, which is the modern equivalent of bread and circuses at the Roman time. And she made it for 28 years. Never said something that cost her her job in 28 years. Wow. And now we're going to believe she's going to jump up and be for the people.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, she could be. Again, it's possible because when she's running, because apparently she's going to run, she's going to be all about the people and Donald Trump and America First in her own way. She's going to have to cater to that audience. But you see, I'm that audience. And I'm not this stupid that I'm going to trust you people because I've been living here now in a perpetual war my entire life, and I'm $38 trillion in debt. And you guys got to go. And how do we get them gone? Caucus. There's 2,200 people that are going to endorse the Republican standard bearers in 2026. Do you realize if we get 40,000 people in Minnesota Speaks and half of them show up new to caucus, the whole party's changed. It's just that easy. And you know what they want to do? They want to shut the caucus system down. So this could be the last time we ever get a chance to do this. And I'm not talking about the Republicans. I'm talking about the Uni Party. Both sides. We actually played it on here when we had that, I can't remember what it was called, but all about the problems in Minneapolis with the Democratic Socialists.
Mm.
And they were interviewing that one kind of insider liberal woman, and she says it's the caucus system. It's got to go. Whoever shows up governs.
Yeah.
What was the name of that? I can't remember the name of that. Well, things pass on by. It's not important anymore. In politics, it's what are we doing today? Let's listen to, for fun, number one.
In that same post, you mentioned Tim Walz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Walz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think that...
You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Walz.
Minnesota is front and center when the president, late at night on the airplane, looking disheveled, pops his head in to talk to the reporters, and he's got Tim Walz on his mind. Wow. That's quite an opportunity. And here's what's going to be the pressure on we, the people here in Minnesota. We got to find electable candidates. Electable, like Michelle Tafoya, like Lisa Damuth, or Kendall Qualls. Electables. Got to be electable. And you know who tells us they're electable? The most disgusting people in Minnesota politics that are in it to grift it, for real. And then the people like me, they call grifters. The people that are not grifted.
Yeah.
But the people that actually have businesses that are actually, they're making money, and you can always tell who they are because they get interviewed by the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. They never called me for an interview. They'll, I'm sure, print bad things about me if they get a chance, but they're not asking for my opinion.
Yeah.
And the opinion of the people they put in the paper is, we have to find electable Republicans, people we can work with. Now, what does that mean? That means that the same people that gave me an endless war and $38 trillion of debt are telling me who's electable. And then you see who tries to go cozy up to them.
Yeah.
Like
they're
Adam
trying to make the uniparty like more acceptable because it doesn't look like the uniparty.
Oh, they got a great way to do it too. You know how? They act like they support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Well, they put them red hats on and dance around with the MAGA crowd. And the MAGA crowd goes, oh, we're winning. And boy, are we getting played. And it's just tragic for me. And then there's people out there like Phil Parrish, and he's ex-military too. So I have to say the same thing about Phil. I don't trust these people, but Phil's kind of made the case to me because he's come in here and I've known him for a long time. And I think he's a sincere dude. He really wants to bring about change. He really is concerned about what's going on. And he has this great background. He's a farmer. He's been a teacher.
Hmm.
He's been in the military.
He trained swimming too. Swim coach, I'm pretty sure.
The guy has had a multitude of experiences, and he's just a citizen that came out of the caucus system. Only the party beat him down. So he became a resistor.
Yeah.
So, this kind of thing is interesting. I'll tell you how interesting it is. Play number 3. Here comes winter. In winter, good tires aren't a luxury. They're a necessity for safety. At TireGet.com, getting your winter tires is quick, easy, and priced right. With TireGet.com, you order online, install right by your house, and stay safe on the road this winter season.
Think of that in Minnesota, this beautiful place, once beautiful. I don't call it beautiful. You got a governor who's a stupid person and a corrupt. He's corrupt and stupid. But he allowed this to go on. He allowed this to go on. Everybody knew it was going on. But what nobody knew is over $9 billion. And the people of Minnesota are not happy. And you know who's running for governor? Mike Lindell. Do we like Mike Lindell? That man suffered. That man suffered. What he did, what he went through because he knew the election was rigged. And he did it. He just did it as a citizen. Mike Lindell, I'll tell you what, every time I introduced him, he got the biggest hand. I hope he does great. He deserves to do great. That man suffered. These people went after him. They went after his company. They did that with me too, but at least I knew what I was getting into. He was just a guy that said, geez, this election was so crooked, it was so rigged. He fought like hell. That guy deserves to be governor of Minnesota, I'll tell you right now. He's a great guy, too.
Well, the plot thickens. We all know that if you're in Minnesota. Mike Lindell pops on the scene. Boy, he's not an insider. And, you know, Trump's not an insider. But he's got a lot of characteristics of somebody on the inside. It's interesting. Trump is a really interesting historical figure. He's an outsider, and he's on the inside now. He's president of the United States. And when he said that he knew what he was getting into, let me tell you what he was getting into. If he knew it, he knew if he lost that election, he was going to spend the rest of his life in jail, just like Bolsonaro is down in Brazil. They've jailed the Trump-like figure in Brazil. His name's Bolsonaro. They put him in the big house, a political prisoner, so to speak.
What were the charges that they arrested him
Well,
on?
he was the president, and then he lost the communists. And then the people said that the election was rigged, and they stormed the Senate of the country and tore the place up.
So,
And
like,
so
he was
Bolsonaro-
prisoned with no real charge. Like,
No. You remember what happened here on January 7th?
yeah.
Okay. We had this huge thing that happened at the Capitol, or whatever the date was, right?
Mhm.
And the same thing happened in Brazil. I mean, identical thing happened. Trump was a populist president. Bolsonaro was a populist president. Trump was defeated in 2020. We had a violent event in the Capitol of unknown causation. You know, it's still being litigated in the popular press and in our hearts, you know, what really went on there. Still an issue. Same thing happened in Brazil. In fact, if you look at the films, it looks exactly the same. I mean, really, it's spooky. And Bolsonaro, didn't get a comeback. He didn't get a comeback tour. They jailed him for insurrection or whatever. I'm not expert on it, I don't remember. But it was around this same kind of a dynamic.
It was the same thing they were trying to take Trump down for.
If Trump would have lost, he'd be in prison right now. So when he says that I knew what I was getting involved in, you can't say the guy's an insider because the inside wanted to put him on ice for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But he is working the levers of power in there. And then he looks at Mike Lindell and he says, this guy really suffered. And I'm telling you, he did. I mean, you watch me suffer, so you know you're getting a look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you own these business and the weight he took on with what he did, unbelievable. And, you know, he is bringing all these people. So, like, if you're a Mike Lindell supporter and you come to Minnesota Speaks on the next January 1st, every Thursday night, 7 p.m. in January, leading up to caucus, and you bring all your friends in there, I'm going to do caucus training. And we can get new people into the party, and we can change the party because we have charismatic candidates, right? And, you know, they're outsiders, and they bring people with them. I mean, Phil Parrish has a very significant following of people that are dedicated to him because he's a sincere dude. He's what we learned from Barris and Mitchell. He's authentic.
Yeah.
And that resonates with you.
Oh, yeah. We want to talk about electable candidates. I don't know what the heck their definition is because I feel like Phil is the most electable candidate I've ever met.
Electable means this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that in just a minute. In fact, I'm going to save it because we're going to have the punchline. Hold that. What does electable mean was your question.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold that. Before we get to that, I just want to say on the way to it, the Republican Party of Minnesota popped up and deplatformed the CD7 duly elected chair, Brett Bussman. And I got a letter from the Republican Party of Minnesota signed by Alex Plekish, chair, very short and sweet. Last night, Minnesota GOP State Executive Committee took up the issue of two parallel organizations in CD7. How could that be? There can't be two parallel organizations. The premise is faulty, both of which were claiming legitimacy. No, one was illegitimate. That situation was untenable and had to be addressed at the state level. The facts were reviewed carefully both before and during the meeting. Our party council reviewed the matter as well. A vote was taken by the state executive committee, and it overwhelmingly decided that the only legitimate CD7 organization is currently chaired by Tiffany Lesmeister Knott. No declarations made or meetings called by Brett Bussman are to be heeded, as they are deemed unconstitutional. At this point, he has no standing as CD7 officer. That's from my friend Alex Blackish. I thought Brett was elected. I mean, I'm just telling you. I don't know the particulars. I wasn't in the room. I didn't read the evidence. I just remember it seemed fairly clear to me. I remember where I was sitting when I heard Brett was elected at the CD7 convention. And I've heard that the insiders there, the people that brought us this $38 trillion debt and the Forever War, they didn't like Brett for some reason. I don't know what happened. We tried to get Brett on. It didn't work. I don't know what happened. But I will say this. I know what it looks like. It looks like a mugging. So, you know, Alex, you guys might have had really good reasons for doing this. But to all the people here that are around that don't know the inside information, it just looks like, you know what? Nothing like 2,000 new people in the caucus system to put this kind of thing to sleep.
Right.
Right? You know, if you're listening to me, let's not complain about Alex and the crew. Let's go to caucus and change the leadership. Because this crew, woo. And for all the people that want their support, you know, you have to ask yourself, who's looking for these people's support? I mean, at this point, I'm not. But what is the strategy? The day after the primary, I'm going to vote for the Republican. We're going to fight this out, but we don't have to not win because of it. That's another thing. Oh, if we have a fight, we won't win. No, that's just trying to create ideological unity through fear and guilt.
Yeah.
No, we don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with a lot of this stuff. Mike Pence is running again. That was Alex's guy before Trump took over. Mike Pence is trying to make a comeback. Doesn't mean much to you.
Mm-mm.
But the people in the America First movement or the MAGA movement or the nationalist movement or whatever it's going to be called historically, look at Mike Pence and say, woo, that's everything we don't like about the Republican Party. So we got this problem going. And when the people like Weiler and Schwartzy and Michelle Tafoya and different people in the party get the endorsement, the nod from the party elders and from the money, wow. Let's play just for a matter of, I don't know, kind of the other side of the football. Let's play number 4.
Say you become Minnesota's next U.S. Senator.
Yes.
Would you work across party lines to accomplish change?
There are no party lines anymore.
What do you mean by that?
There are no party lines. There are only patriots and nationalists and globalists. There are no party lines.
But there are still senators from different party perspectives.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, on for the theater.
So are you willing
there aren't a handful of America First, unbought and paid for United States senators in the entire United States Senate.
How about this? How would you collaborate with counterparts?
Tell the truth. I'm not collaborating with traitors. I'm not collaborating with, and some people would say, well, that makes you unqualified to run for the office. The prerequisite is that you have to become enmeshed in the corruption of the machine in order to be a viable candidate. And I think that's what's wrong with American political culture, is that we expect our candidates to sell out, but then we tell them not to.
Collaboration is selling out?
If the collaboration is to undermine the fabric of this country and the value of citizenship, for sure.
I'm thinking about like writing bills and like.
Where do you think the selling out of this nation happens?
Okay, fair, fine. All right, I clearly you have issue with the system.
For sure.
Okay.
I have huge issues with the system. I have huge issues with omnibus bills. I have huge issues with the special interests and lobby money in D.C. I have a huge issue with the fact that it's a conventional prerequisite that a United States Senate candidate has to have pre-committed to a lobby, a special interest in lobby, to have any chance of raising the money necessary to win one of these campaigns. I object to all of that.
Got anything to say to that there,
He
young
killed
man?
that interview. That was awesome, dude.
That was the Frontline interview, short from the Frontline interview. Tanner was going to be there to film that day. Unfortunately, fortunately, or however, he had other family obligations. So we had somebody else fill in. And so Royce has his own footage of the interview, which
Awesome.
he's going to run on Please Call Me Crazy, I think, tonight, right after the Professor Penn podcast finishes at 9:00. I think that's what's going to happen if he gets it together. But this is going to run, and that short blew up and it's gone viral.
Good. I mean, he answered it so good, and I almost feel like the interviewer kind of
Gave up.
he gave up. Yeah, he straight up just
he
went
walked
like,
himself
well,
right
I'm just
into-
talking about bills, and Royce just looks at him like, where do you think this corruption's happening?
Yeah, the guy. I mean, this is the moment of truth for us as Minnesota citizens. There are regular, everyday people emerging from the citizenry. Now, I mean, it's like my life or your life. I mean, there's all kinds of problems. There are people that emerge, and you look at them, and they're just looking like, wow, everything in their life's been just wonderful. Well, first of all, that's luck or a BS story, right? You know, it could be luck. I mean, there's people out there that got lucky, drew the right life, but it's not because they were. Of course, when you get the luck draw downrange, you always make it sound like you were smart and had it together.
Yeah.
You don't say, thank you, dear God, for blessing me. You know, for whatever reason. And sometimes having the lucky path is a trap too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, life is very complex. I do know this. We elect a lot of people that are allegedly on the lucky path. They have a lot of money. They're married. They got beautiful kids. They served in the military, survived. They're lawyers, doctors, you know, the top echelon people of our society. And again, if I lived in a utopia, we hadn't been at war for 200-300 years. Our budget was balanced. Everybody lived lives of well-being and meaning. Man, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go on. Keep it. You earned it. But you people all earned immediate dismissal. All of you almost, unless you make a change and start to realize that 89% of the citizens of this country have almost nothing. Nothing but frustration and a growing anger. So you're just getting used to bring on the revolution. You know what John Kennedy said? I think I said it on the last podcast. Those that thwart evolution guarantee a revolution. Like the kind of people that would say Brett Bussman, the duly elected chair of the CD7 community, was illegitimate. How do you do that? I don't know, Alex. There must have been a very good reason. But you're not going to convince a growing number of your constituents. And again, if we could all just go to the Minnesota Speaks and get caucus training for 4 Thursdays at 7 p.m. in a row, and then show up for caucus February 3rd, and then get elected as a precinct delegate, and then have your friends elect you as a congressional state delegate. And there's only 2,200 of those people that get elected, but we had 12,000 in the. If all 12,000 of those people went to caucus, these goons would get displaced right away.
Fast. Or they would just fall in line and start actually acting on our behalf.
That's correct.
Yeah.
There you go. Because after all, they're professionals.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very insightful comment. And this piece from Royce, talking about electability. So it's an issue of electability.
Yeah.
And he's saying, I'm not going to work with these people. And I have problems with the fact that I have to make concessions. In other words, I have to sell out before I start to even get the money to win one of these elections. Well, that's not true. We can change that here in Minnesota because we have a growing community of people that are going to work together to bring about change and keep this state as part of the republic. We care about it. And this piece is going viral, and it's about electability and about what you have to do to get elected. And you know what they're saying about Mike Lindell? He can't get elected because he questioned the 2020 election. He can't get elected. I have the very famous Preya Samsunder quoted in the Minnesota newspaper of record, the Star Tribune. And here she says it, her quote, The reality is, this is a quote, the reality is Mike Lindell beloved by activists? Absolutely. Can he win a general election in a state like Minnesota? Absolutely not. If Lindell is the nominee, Waltz is a third-term governor. Oh, lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. See, so this thing is growing, and they're going to keep saying, but see, if we keep going, we're going to start electing citizens. And that's the only way to save our freedom. We have to elect citizens that will not sell out. So right in response to Royce's short there from Frontline, guess who? Does this name mean anything to you, General Michael Flynn?
No, I don't know him.
Well, I'll tell you, the boomers know him.
Yeah.
He was a big-time military guy under several administrations, and they went after him, and he suffered tremendously. He served shortly, I think, as the national security advisor in the first Trump administration for like a month, and then he got indicted. I mean, this guy's a military guy that went rogue. He was a department of, he was on the intelligence side of the equation, and he started saying, "Whoa, you guys, I can't work with you." Like Royce, I can't work with these people if I'm not working with traitors. And here's what he writes in response to Royce's short. Ulysses S. Grant famously declared, this is General Michael Flynn. Ulysses S. Grant famously declared, there are but two parties now, traitors and patriots. In response to the attack on Fort Sumter in 1861, signifying his commitment to the Union cause and dividing the nation starkly between loyalty and rebellion. This powerful statement reflects his views that, after the war began, political differences were secondary to the fundamental choice between supporting the United States or betraying it. We're in a fifth-generation war right here in our homeland. There are many betraying we the people. Royce White, who I do not know, says what millions of Americans feel and believe. Donald Trump, we want you to succeed, but there are too many around you still who President General Ulysses S. Grant would not see eye to eye with. Now, this is a big deal. And actually, for you unipartyists that watch me, this is the movement of Royce into the mainstream. Where's my T-shirt? I didn't bring my T-shirt in. Oh. We're just right. I would be pulling that up if I'd planned ahead, because we're just right. We're not far right. We're speaking the truth or the search for truth. And then there's all these people that are going to want to try to discredit Mr. Royce White or Mr. Mike Lindell or Mr. Phil Parrish or Mr. David Penn, anybody who emerges from the citizenry and has not spent a lifetime protecting their reputation so they could keep their job in show business, be it in politics or in Hollywood or working for the networks. Because those people are good at playing the game, aren't they?
Yeah.
Can you keep a job working at CBS for 20 years and hold views and express views on air that are contrary to the status quo? No. Like if I got up and I said, wow, football, it's cool, but it's not really very important in the great scheme of things. We need to take all these 50,000 people in this stadium, encourage them to go to caucus. How long would you be on the air if you tried that one?
Not even a year.
Not even a day.
Yeah.
You'd be gone tomorrow, okay? See, so when you participate in one of the greatest psyops in world history, which is professional sports, and I watched, I never missed a Vikings game for decades.
And I think like what you're saying is there's nothing inherently wrong with these sports. Sports are awesome. It's more how much focus we put on them.
Well, also it's how they're packaged. Because see, I was there when the packaging wasn't worked through very well. I was watching football in the early 60s. It was a gritty and raw event. I mean, When I say gritty and raw, it's nothing like it is now. I was at a game one time when a referee named Armin Terzian got knocked out. Somebody got pissed off and threw a bottle and hit him right in the head with a bottle. That's how close the fans were to the field back in 1967 or 68.
Yeah.
It was a different deal. It was a different deal. These people were working and they were playing professional sports for like $12,000, $15,000 a year, $20,000, $25,000. This is before the thing became financialized.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be 1972 when President Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. It was called Let's Let the Good Times Roll. I mean, you could have a sport. I'm going to tell you, the Vikings started in 1961. I'm sure the franchise was bought for pin money. I mean, the kind of money that they paid to get that team at the start of the NFL. I mean, these teams lose this much money just on toilet paper getting stolen every year. That's how easy it was to start it and get in on it. We were just a baby country.
Yeah.
We've come so far so fast. Look at us. We've been at war for 60 straight years, and we got $38 trillion of debt to show for it. That's pretty good work. Come on. And you know what they tell me? I see this all the time. It happened by accident.
Yeah.
It happened by accident. Anyhow, it is Christmas. Did you buy Christmas presents this year?
Yes, I did.
Did you find them affordable?
Yeah, for the most part. I went a little all out for my brother and got him a really nice handcrafted Japanese knife. So that was probably the biggest price I
knife?
spent. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the cleaver
A
style.
tanto.
Mm-hmm.
You got him something with a little bit of special energy to it.
Yeah, well, we both like when we're talking about presents, we're like, don't get us something knick-knacky. Like, give me something I'll actually use, because then I'll hold on to it for over 10 years.
That's
so a
great.
knife.
So you had enough money to get by on the holidays.
Yeah.
Well, affordability is in the news. Are you hearing that your life's not affordable?
Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing that since, yeah.
Let's just talk about this just a little bit. I promised it last episode, because the BS factor is so high in this affordability thing that I just have to say, things will not be affordable like they were previously, because we live in something called the Keynesian economic model, and all we do is inflate. We are very opposed to deflation. What goes up must come down, but not with these people. They just want it to keep going up. So we don't have resets. We just have more gas going in the bag, which means we inflate. We've talked about the Federal Reserve. Their target for inflation is 2% a year. It's not zero. So we're always inflating the bag. They have an inflation target of 2%. We're running about 3% right now. It's not that bad. It was up to 9% under Biden. And the goods and services they use to determine the inflation, those things are carefully curated to make sure the inflation doesn't seem to be too much. So things are inflated. If you're going to buy a house for your growing family, when you think of a number, what do you think the number is to buy a house?
350,000.
I bought my first house for $60,000.
That's crazy.
I bought my second house for $83,000.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I sit and I think 350,000. Dang, that's a good deal.
I bought my first house, was like a $350,000 house. It was a starter house. My second house was right over by Como Park in St. Paul. I'm sure that house is worth $600,000-$700,000 now. So that's inflation.
Yeah.
That's housing inflation. We don't like that. We don't like to hear about deflation. As a people, we don't like that. We like to always be getting bigger. America's about big. We have a $30 trillion economy. See? So when the Democrats start talking about inflation, things are not affordable, that's just politics. Because the Republicans were talking about it when they were trying to get elected. Because they're talking to you. They're saying, hey, you're kind of a dummy. You don't know what's going on. You just don't have enough money. Vote for me, I'll give you more money. That's pretty much the pitch, isn't
That's
it?
literally every politician right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the affordability issue, it's far more complex than the way it's fenced. It's fenced as vote for me, you'll have more money.
Am I crazy that the affordability argument really doesn't sway me at all, because I just think they're all lying. I don't care about affordability. I just want our system to work, because I feel like affordability will come with
what does our system working mean to you?
kind of just what you were talking about, a goal that we're living in a utopia type of way where we're not at war. People are life expectancy up to 90. We're living, meaningful lives. I think that is what we should be working for. And if we're all rich, then so be it. But I just don't think that putting the money as the main focus has ever given us that result.
That's another issue about men and women. We can talk about that maybe at the end if we have time. It's on my mind.
Okay.
But I will say relative to affordability, since Nixon took us off the gold standard, the way the country creates money used to be you made money, right? You had a little stack and you did something with it and there was more when you were done. That's how you made money, right?
Mm.
Now we create money by issuing debt. So like when Tireget borrows money from the bank and the bank gives me money, that's how money gets created, through debt. It used to get created through equity, like before they financialized the economy. Like if you wanted to make money, you had to make the money grow somehow. But now they create the money because it's infinite. It's not pegged to gold. It's not convertible. It's a sea of paper. There always can be more. And when there's always can be more, if you make more of something, it has less value, which means prices increase. So the same good or service, that's the same. When I started driving, you know how much the gas cost? You ready? 35 cents a gallon.
Oh, that's crazy.
Right. It's crazy. I had a house for 80 grand that was baller, 4-bedroom. Fantastic house right in Como Park. I'm beautiful. I was like 23 years old, 21, something like that. I could afford that. So you can't do that anymore.
No.
No, but see, that's not an accident. That's policy.
Mm.
Because the money is getting transferred away from the middle class by making things unobtainium, unaffordable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this has been going on since the Federal Reserve started. That's a long damn time. Different things intervene along the way to mask it. Like we went through a long period of time where this was masked with the importation of very low-cost goods from Asia. And still that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can buy a TV for a couple $100. If it was made in Pittsburgh, probably be $1,200. You might have to go without television. Can't have that. Can't have people getting away from TV.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So they brought all this stuff in super cheap, and it's still coming in super cheap, like the tires that you bought from Tireget. But what it's masking is a growing affordability issue on the things that really matter. Housing, for example. Housing, energy. See, they were pricing us out in the places where it hurts. Food.
Cars.
Right.
It's like, yeah, especially in America, cars is like, you need a car.
No, you're not supposed to have a car. It's bad for the environment. You're supposed to live in a 15-minute city. Didn't you get the memo on personally owned vehicles? That memo says you don't get one.
Yeah, I hear that, but I mean, I believe that they're eventually going to make that way. But right now, as America stands, I mean, most of Austin, Texas is just blacktop for cars. Like we're a huge car.
You're not reading your Sustainable Development Goals at Agenda 2030. We're not supposed to drive cars. Okay, we're certainly not supposed to drive cars that are fueled by hydrocarbons.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point. They price point it out. So then a lot of people will then go down to, okay, well, family should only have one car. And then it will get to a point, well, why don't we just rent this car that drives us around? And
there you go. You don't own a car.
Yeah, don't own a car.
You can just hit the app and the autonomous vehicle will show up to take you wherever you want to go.
Exactly. It's
right?
price people out of it, so then they give you the solution, which is renting.
Well, what did you give up?
My own freedom.
That's the affordability issue, the real issue. Do you have freedom of movement?
Yeah. I think that's kind of like what I was saying with like I don't care about these discussions of affordability because it's a mask. It's not ever actually addressing the real issue.
Which is?
In my opinion, it's dang, and then I'm just gonna brain fart. The real issue is
So you get
that we just continue to inflate. That how you just explained our economy is just going to continue to inflate. So things are just going to naturally get more and more expensive as we inflate.
And why are they inflating the economy? What are the reasons for it? The reasons for it is we went to a debt-based system. That's how money is created, is through debt.
Yeah.
So the debt just keeps on growing, and we have private sector debt, we have business debt, and we have the sovereign debt. Well, the sovereign debt is the one that really is the biggie, which is up to $38 trillion. And that's because the people we elect sell out to this idea, or it would stop overnight. I mean, look, if you elected me to Congress, I'd vote against everything that wasn't balanced. And then they would say before I got there, he's not electable. You can't elect this guy, he's crazy. But what's really crazy is what is masquerading as normal.
Yeah.
What's masquerading as normal is $38 trillion of debt, as if it doesn't matter. But what it's doing is it's making things unaffordable, and it's being used to take away your freedom. So then there's a handful of people, 11%, that have, for whatever reason, intergenerational wealth, luck, hard work, creativity, they got over the hump. TireGet.com, where convenience meets the road. Why make buying tires complicated? With TireGet.com, it's simple. TireGet.com, one site, a few clicks, and the tires of your choice are shipped to an installer right by your house. And you know who those people are? That 11% that own all those equities? They're the uni party.
Yeah.
They're on the payroll of the uni party in that way. But we got the people that can't make ends meet, they're getting universal basic income. We got the farmers on egg subsidies. We got all the people in the military industrial complex on the money. The millions and millions. We got all the people working for the military are working for the government. Who's not working for the government now? Who's not on? All the seniors are getting Social Security. All the people that have to get Obamacare, Affordable Care Act money, everybody's taking something from the government. We're living in a socialized economy. Who are the people that are left that are not taken? All they do is give. Who are those people?
Yeah.
You know anybody like that?
Not too many.
Do you know anybody like that?
I think I do.
Well, I'm going to tell you who the givers are. It's the givers that own the nation of shopkeepers, the people that employ people, that work, that take the stress. And that's another thing that this affordability issue is intended to wreck, is to make it impossible to own and operate a family business. And there's all this roll-ups going on in every industry because of the economies of scale. With computerization, automation, AI. I mean, we're going through massive changes. But the affordability issue is related to the policy of our government to inflate our economy. Occasionally it gets out of control. What do? Inflate. Occasionally they have to keep that debt manageable. They inflate. The debt keeps getting bigger. The economy keeps getting bigger. The same thing's going on in China. But the Chinese don't have it going on as good as we do. They have a problem there. They've had a real estate collapse. See, we had our real estate collapse. We had it. Now we've imported all these millions of newcomers, making real estate very expensive. I don't think President Trump can get these people out of the country fast enough to bring the real estate pricing down quickly enough for people of your age group. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I feel like I've been seeing a lot of for sale houses just popping up and they're not going as quick as they used to. So I think things are slowing down, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, that's what will deflate. That would be the one that could deflate.
Yeah.
Which is housing. And that's what's going on in China. They have a huge problem. They overbuilt, and their housing sector is in a shambles. Now we're talking about one of the primary drivers of an economy. We had that here in the 2008. It was a real estate crisis. Okay, no, we don't like that. We papered over that one. We still haven't come to grips with that one. And they're dealing with it over there in China too. What are the Chinese doing? They're exporting their deflation to the rest of the world. China builds an enormous, I think 37 or 38% of the world's goods are built in China, not counting all their factories all over the rest of the world. And they're having a deflationary cycle there where their real estate is losing value. That means people lose purchasing power. That means they can't buy goods. What does China do? Exports them at lower and lower prices, exporting deflation. That causes trade tension. That causes all kinds of political problems. We're not all on the same page in the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, or in world governance. Everybody has to look out for themselves now. And this ongoing export of China's deflationary cycle is going to lead to a lot of trade tensions around the world. I'm just going to tell you here in the tire business, Tireget.com. Tireget, still a deal. Why is it still a deal? Because there's still imported tires that you can buy for a fraction of the cost of a domestically produced tire. And I'm not telling you to do that. If you can buy a domestically produced tire, you could, and I don't like to use the word should, but I'll say kind of a soft should. You could buy it. But most of the people that call Tireget that I talk to can't afford it. They have an affordability issue. That $500 set of tires could have cost you $1,500. Is there any way on earth, in your present circumstances, as you see the world, that you could spend 3 times as much to buy a tire made in South Carolina?
No.
Couldn't afford it.
Not even possible, yeah.
It's not possible. Well, the government knows that. So what's happening now? We're taxing Tanner's tires 25% when they come in, and the price is still going down because China is exporting inflation, which is going to lead to more trade tension. In Europe right now, Europe imports 145 million consumer tires from China every year. Now the European Union is saying, we can't do this. We're going to have to raise the tax rate to protect our local tire manufacturers. And that's going on in every industry. So we have what Michael Flynn referred to as a 5th generation war. It's an information war at heart, but it's also an economic war. There's also violent kinetic warfare going on. We're in a moment of conflict, real conflict. And it's not helped by what the Chinese are doing, but they don't have a choice. They have a deflationary economy. They have huge debt problems like we have here in the United States. Nobody knows exactly what their debt is because they don't have a transparent banking system. Not that we do, but it's compared to theirs, it's more transparent. They have a problem there. Do you know what the youth unemployment rate is here in the United States?
What?
I don't know, but I know what it is in China.
What's it in China?
20%.
20% of the people my age?
Yeah.
They don't work.
They don't work. 18%.
Are they including students?
I don't know what they include. They call it youth unemployment. Probably not students.
Yeah. Huh. I'm going to find out what it is in America now.
Well, that'd be an interesting fact for a comparison. But when you have that kind of youth unemployment, you're talking about trouble in River City. And the president of China, Xi, he's blasting reckless projects because remember, you create money by issuing debt. So a reckless project creates money in our country and in China. And he's saying don't do it because it leads to deflation. What is it?
16 to 24 is 8.3 to 10.6%. So China's about double ours.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts.
That's crazy. That's young. Those young people got nothing to lose. That's dangerous. That's how you get into problems. When your young people got nothing to do, they got problems. So we're at a point here in the United States where we have population decline, we have moral decay, we have fiat currency, and we're at war all over the world. So when I look at that and I think about the political situation and I think about my political dialogue that I have with people online, I'm just committed to bringing in people that are everyday citizens, because these people that have curated lives, they have to sell out. As Royce, you got it. He was very eloquent about that.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly.
I mean, and the thing has gone viral.
Good.
I mean, truly viral.
I know I'm gonna go home and show my girlfriend this clip. Look what Royce said.
Yeah, I mean,
it's freaking awesome.
well, I mean, this is the quiet part out loud. I mean, we have to know that if we're politically involved, we have to know that when we say candidates have to be electable, we're asking them to be accepted by the same system, which has us at war, has us in debt, and has this income inequality. And I guess there's a lot of people in the Republican Party that think this is okay. I don't think it's okay. So if you're in the Republican Party and you're listening to me and you think a forever war and $38 trillion in debt and this kind of income, inequality is working, it may be working for you temporarily, because this kind of thing leads to revolution. And the Republicans will sit and talk about, when nobody's around, how close we are to revolution. But they're not looking at what they're doing to cause the revolution. We got to quit that now. So we need really smart people to emerge. And what their personal lives are, okay, there's 10, 15,000 people going to watch this podcast. It's a small deal. I get it. And that's cool. But a lot of people are going to hear it. And I'm just going to ask all of them, hey, here's my inventory for all of you. You ready for this now? If you're my age, I want you to think back, where your mind doesn't go that often. Did you sleep with anybody, have sex with anybody before you got married? Question A. Question B, how many was it? Question C, have you been divorced? Question D, how many times have you been divorced? But see, nobody cares. It's not my business. I'm just asking you to think about it when you start throwing bricks at people's personal lives. Like I'm seeing people pick on Mike Lindell because he's got financial problems because he took on the system. He just went out there like Don Quixote. So, I mean, how many of you out there have had financial problems in your lives? I mean, has it always been good for everybody? Wow. I salute you, like on The Godfather. Never had a financial scrape in your life. I mean, there are people like that.
Yeah.
Not too many. Most entrepreneurs will tell you, it's not about staying on your feet. It's about getting up when you get knocked off your feet. So everybody's got this story of how they brought it back around the corner. Mike Lindell probably wants to make a comeback, but they're knocking him down as if they've never had a financial problem. Or they knock down a candidate because he's got personal life. Those things don't matter in a fifth generation war. You got to get that frame out of our heads. That's the wrong frame. We got patriots and nationalists and globalists, traitors to the concept of a sovereign country. That's what we got now. And we don't have that many people that tell the truth, and we don't have that many people that tell the truth eloquently. And those people are going to get elevated at this time, not by you or me, but by the circumstances of the time. The times make the warrior. So when you see that happening and you want to sit there like this woman came into my ex and posted all this stuff about Royce, I don't care about that, what he was doing, 6-8 years ago, even if it was accurate. I don't even look at it, because when you're Republican, truly in the philosophy of republicanism, it offers you the path of redemption. It's not a materialist path. It's a spiritual path. And when you're on the spiritual path, you have the opportunity to change. Now, when you're on the material path and there's no spiritual component, you won't be changing much.
Why would you ever even imagine of changing?
Why would you? Because it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The only thing that matters on that path is how big your stack is. How you get the stack,
Doesn't matter.
as long as you don't get caught, it's not illegal.
Yeah, my age, they say a bag's a bag.
What do they say?
A bag's a bag. At least you got the bag.
A bag is a bag.
Yeah, so regardless of what you do to make it, if you get the bag, you got the bag. That's my generation's way of saying, as long as you get your money.
In other words, there's no morality about it.
No. No, like even people just scamming, like a huge thing. It's so silly, and I don't even know if you're aware of this, but Pokemon cards, the trading cards.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
you know how much they've inflated in price? So
yeah.
there's just adults like my age that go and clear the Walmart shelves just to make profit.
Man, someplace in my family tree, there's every Pokemon card that ever came out when Pokemon started, because that's when my kids go back to.
Right. But it's like back then, you could go to the store and get your kids some Pokemon packs.
We
You can't
did.
do that anymore. I've tried to get my daughter Pokemon, and these scalpers, they take it and they know what they're doing. They know they're taking off the market for the kids, but as long as you get to the bag, you know?
Oh, who cares about the
Yeah,
kids?
who cares about the
I
kids?
got mine. You got to get
Yeah,
yours.
you little 6-year-old, go make your own money.
Well, you know what? It's been this way for a long time. Okay, so what we're seeing now with a person like General Flynn, with the Royce White, I mean, General Flynn got indicted. He might have gone to jail. I don't remember the circumstances. He was really embarrassed. And it turned out the whole thing was kind of a scam, kind of trumped up.
Yeah.
And it's like personal life issues. I have personal life issues. If they come up, people are going to indict me for them. What do you know about it? Yeah, I'm close to Royce. I mean, I know what's going on. The first thing that I think about when I see issues like this is, it's none of my business. I don't care. Unless there's violence, which I know there isn't.
Yeah.
So I try to stay away from things I can't understand. I really do. But everybody's so educated on this stuff. And here's what the education is. If there's a problem, it's the man's fault. And if the woman did something wrong, it's because the man did something wrong, caused her to do it. That's the world we're living in. Does that seem ideologically sorted out to you?
No.
Like I'm responsible for my misbehavior. But if the woman I'm married to misbehaves, I caused it. Must be my fault too. I'm seeing that now, and I'm thinking, man, can this be true? In a liberated society where women have sovereign citizen rights, they're not property. They don't make me do anything. I can't say I did this, that, thus, or so because my woman made me do it. Isn't that dumb? Isn't that dumb?
Mm.
I'm asking you, can you do something wrong because your woman made you do it?
No, it's not okay at
It's
all.
not okay. Happens though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. but
Okay, I see the point you're making now.
it's not okay to blame. Well, why'd you scream at the girl? Because you pissed me off. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, it's still
You
wrong.
can't even say that. Can you even say it? You can't say that. Why did you do that? Because you pissed me off. Why'd you get in a car accident? I was in a bad mood and I wasn't paying attention. You pissed me off. I got in a car accident. You can't say something like, can you say something like that?
No, I mean you can, but you're not going to make it very far. You're just going to show that.
But if a woman does something wrong, she'll say, my man made me do it. And everybody say, yeah, I agree.
Oh my gosh, and then to bring it even further, we have the discussion of like a black individual doing something terrible, and then they come to the defense of saying like, well, it's because they were raised in such a racist culture that they did this.
Same thing.
Same thing. I think it's like all in these different groups, it's just a lack of self accountability. We have lost that way completely. It's always someone else's fault. If you get wronged, you have to sue someone to make money. It's always
Fill the bag.
Yeah, get the bag.
Get the bag, baby.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter if you tell the truth. So people make all these assumptions about these issues. But I'm going to tell you, in terms of politics, at this time, it doesn't matter to me. And, people are going to look at me and they're going to say, how can that be? Well, yeah, there are things people could do that would make me give up on them, for sure.
Mm.
But their personal life, because I know all the rest of these politicians that look so happy with their wives and their kids in the pictures, I know that behind the scenes, a very large percentage of them are not that happy. Some might be. I'm not saying all of them. They all look great. Like when I get the Christmas pictures from different friends and you see, there's my friend and his wife smiling, the kids, everything's good. Sometimes, don't send me those pictures if I know the truth. Because I just go, that's a scam.
Hmm.
But, what I'm trying to say is this problem between men and women is in every household. It's working itself out in every relationship, in every dynamic. It is not personal, it's universal. And so what we tend to do is we tend to blame people and say, oh, look at that. as if we're not caught up in the same problem. And we are, because it's the fundamental creation myth of, guess what? Christianity. Christianity. So if you're a Christian, you have to look at the story of Adam and Eve. Do Christians study that? They do, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does it say? It says people screwed up. They screwed up in a big way. And there was, I'm no longer going to call them the Adamic curses. I'm going to call them the Adamic blessings. I think the word curse was put in there as the info war. It's God put conditions on us that saved us from ourselves. And we're working it out every day. If we didn't have those blessings, I'd guarantee you we'd try to make it artificial intelligence. We'd try to make robots, and we'd try to make it so that we were gods of our own world. We could live forever with some kind of bioengineered future if we didn't have those blessings. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, young man?
Yeah.
So even with those blessings, as a guardrail against taking the apple and biting it and having wisdom, which makes us like gods, even with the blessing of what God did for us, we're still trying with all of our powers and all of our skills. President Trump just signed an executive order. 40,000 American scientists are going to be deployed on making AI a national priority. Even with all of our blessings, it's still happening. Isn't that incredible?
You know what I think is kind of funny?
What?
Did Eve ever apologize for biting the apple when she was confronted?
We could make our own movie about it.
Didn't she just simply say the
She
serpent?
she said the
He did it.
Weren't we just talking about that?
Then all the way before the
No,
curses
you know
even
what?
were a thing.
Now you know why I brought this up. It's the accountability issue.
Yeah.
See, if we have 40,000 people in Minnesota spaces, and because here's what people say, it's cold, it's dark. Take care of my mother, who's got cancer. I got this reason. Everyone's got a reason for the country to become a communist vassal state to world governance run by corporations. Everybody's got a reason to give up. Everybody. I got one. I got more than one. If I wanted to dedicate a whole podcast to all the problems I confront every day, I could do it very easily. But I don't care about any of those because I got this mission to save the Republic, to bring the spirit of Christmas, which is not a Christmas tree and presents. It's the idea that a Redeemer has come to this world. To spread that idea, to spread that feeling, man, I got energy. My problems don't matter at all because I've been chosen. Let me rephrase that. I've chosen. I was chosen. I know I was chosen, but I still had to choose to pick up my part of the deal. You're all chosen. Let me give you a blast. Knock, knock, knock. Let me in. Knock, knock, knock. Let me in. You just keep knocking on the door. Eventually, just to make the knocking stop, God will say, what do you want? I guarantee it. But nobody knows how to do it. And it's just very simple. You have to want to do it. You have to want to be in communion with the Most High God. And you have to not just say you believe in God. You have to do what God tells you to do for your own good. He's doing it because he loves you. That's why it's not the Adamic curses. That's the info war. So you start sorting shit like that out when you get to my age, because I've called it the Adamic curses on here many, many times. I thought, that's not a curse. God's blessing me and keeping me from the worst impulse in myself, which is to think I'm going to be a God, by having an AI that gives me immortality, which is what your generation thinks is right around the corner, correct?
Correct, yeah.
But we have a blessing to not think that way. I guess we're going to find out now, aren't we?
Yeah. We'll see. Because something I will say, I've been kind of surprised by my generation is a lot of us are not happy with AI. We're not convinced it's going to be the save-all. We think it's heavily inflated as an idea. Have you ever heard of the Chinese room experiment?
Of course.
Yeah, so it's essentially that my generation does not have much faith in AI. We also, a huge part of my cohort, are pissed on what it takes to cool those systems down. And just to put in perspective, I was doing the math on this and doing a little bit of research.
Yeah.
So like, for like our thumbnail images, we will like I use AI to get certain assets. But if I were to have the top of the line model of an AI photo generator, for me to generate one single image is 2 kilowatt hours of energy. And I think my apartment, I maybe crossed 1,200 in a month. So just the idea that that is 1/600th of my entire month in one single
President
photo.
Trump has signed an executive order such that 27 nuclear reactors are going to get built by 2028
Holy
on
crap.
military property or something like that. I haven't read the bill or the executive order for a while, but I think there's 27 fast-tracked nuclear or mini-nuclear reactors that have been fast-tracked on military land so that it circumvents all of the planning and environmental processes so that in 2028, it's aim small, miss small. Maybe they won't get there till 2034. But they have an all-of-government race now to create AI. They have an executive order for 40,000 scientists to cooperate, to take all the databases of all the government research institutions, every university. It's all going into one AI database. Here we go. They're going to have the nuclear power to fuel it because they're building the nuclear reactors to do so.
Mhm.
I thought nuclear power was bad for the environment. Apparently not.
Yeah.
Okay. And then President Trump has signed an executive order to spur the development of humanoid-like robots here in this country.
Yeah, actually, let me play a clip for you. I have a clip of that.
We're going to have tremendous workforce availability. We're also going to have robots helping us. We're going to have a lot of robots helping us because we need it. And because we're going to town, we're building a lot between the AI and the auto plants. So we're going to need robots. We're going to have robots, but that's going to help us. We're going to have tremendous workforce. And in order to operate you're always going to need people. You could have robots, but you're going to have to get somebody to start those robots, and you're going to have to improve the robots. But we're going to have robotic factories plus manpower. So we're going to have enough. We're going to need the help of robots and other forms of, I guess you could say, employment. We're going to be employing a lot of artificial things, but the beauty is we're going to have more jobs than we've ever had. Just so you know, a number came out the other day. We have more jobs right now in the United States. More people are working right now in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that. Pretty amazing. So we'll have the help of, mechanical help, if you want to call it that, but we'll have tremendous employment. They'll be paid a lot of money. They'll do better than they ever did.
Well, it's possible. I'm not going to future say what is getting ready to happen, but I'll tell you what I know is happening. I'm buying my very high quality tires, which you can get on TireGet at a fraction of the price that you can get anyplace else. We proved it to you.
Mm-hmm.
In the factory where my tires are produced, the low-cost ones, because we have the major brands. Again, if you want to spend 3 times as much for a Goodyear tire, Bridgestone tire, Toyo tire, something that's name brand, I love it. I love it, but people can't afford it, so they buy these low-cost tires on TireGet. And the factory I buy these tires from, I'm going to bring in next week, I'll bring in some films. Should be 6,000 people in this factory. There's 800. It's completely robotic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So we'll see where it actually goes. But I mean, you're absolutely right when you talk about that. They're telling us straight up what the plan is.
The plan is if you want to become an engineer and work on robots, life's going to be good for you. That's a technical job. A lot of people can do that. There could be a tremendous expansion of creativity for a nation of shopkeepers because so much taxation could be generated by bringing all this production back to the United States. I don't know how this is going to turn out. And people that are doomsaying it don't know how it's going to turn out in terms of jobs. In terms of the control grid, that's easy to predict.
Yeah.
The control grid, because let's say things don't work out. Let's say there's lots of youth unemployment and lots of guns, because we got lots of guns, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody has a digital ID and digital currency, and everything you do is surveilled with AI. That's going to cool things out. Because guess what? If you go into the wrong website, we'll just shut your money off. Maybe that'll bring you around the corner.
Yeah.
It's free.
You thought you weren't going to work today? You thought you're going somewhere else? No, we're going to pull you over. Like,
We're just going to shut your money off.
Yeah, or shut the car off. They passed
What
the
car? You don't have a car.
Yeah, gosh.
Are you goofy? You don't have a car. What are you talking about?
We're so fucked, dude.
Well, we're not if 20,000 people go to caucus. And I'm going to end on this note. And it was a circuitous, not very focused. Was this podcast okay?
I think it was good. I mean, I had fun.
But you know what? My point is, sometimes I got not be so intense. It's Christmas. I want to wish everybody a really Merry Christmas. I hope you have a decent week. I got a lot going on. I mean, we're still working. We're working on important issues at Free People Radio. The issue of citizenship. What is a citizen? What do you do with all these people? I mean, this is big time news here in Minnesota. What do you do with all these people that lied to obtain citizenship? Well, the government's going to go get them and throw them out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very jarring. Here's a citizen. It's revealed that they lied to get that citizenship. They lied on an application form, or they lied about their status. Those people are going to get rounded up and deported, denaturalized. They could even go to jail. There's jail time for that, long jail time. So we're working on that issue. You saw it. We were at that last community event. You saw the fighting that was going on over that issue.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like the topic of discussion that night.
Because the next event is January 7th, Wednesday, the next community event, which is the companion piece to Minnesota Speaks. Minnesota Speaks every Thursday night, 7 p.m. We're not doing it on Christmas night. January 1st night, 7 p.m., January 1st. And then January 7th, the in-person peer-to-peer meeting at the Wayzata Central Middle School at 7 p.m. Royce and I will be there. We're going to hold a community meeting. Come from near, come from far. You'll get a chance to talk. We will talk to you, not down to you. And you're not going to hear polished pablum answers that divert your question into a non-answer. That's not what we do. We're going to try to learn together. We're going to try to grow together. We're going to take you very seriously. Please show up. So that's what we're doing for Christmas. We're getting ready for after Christmas. We don't really have a lot of time to rest here at Free People Radio, which you can go to the Free People store, upwards, freepeopleradio.com, /store. It's not too late to buy some Christmas gifts from us. We'd appreciate it. But things are going along okay. We had a good year. We're going to be on one time next week, I think, New Year's week. We've had a good year. It's time to relax a little bit and be thankful for the Adamic blessings, which keep me from becoming a monster. And just because everybody else is a monster, not everybody, but a lot of people are monsters, that doesn't make it okay. That just makes it a mind virus. What we want to do here in Minnesota is bring people together and get real people in the political process. This is ground zero for worldwide communism, and it can be ground zero for the counter-revolution against that revolution. That's what I'm involved in. And if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're young or old, white or black, rich or poor, if you want to keep this republic and maintain your freedom, please find me. Please follow us here. Please repost this podcast. Please follow me on X at Prof Penn Podcast. Join the digital community. And please have a blessed and beautiful Christmas Day, Thursday the 25th. You too, Tanner. Have a good holiday.
Have a good night, everybody.